Now, in the animal kingdom, you have some species that have some weird, amazing, and some downright super ordinary abilities. We're gonna be checking out some of them today. The first on the list are iguanas. Now, I know what you're thinking. What's so special about iguanas? Well, these are actually some of the few animals that can survive being frozen. Iguanas can literally slow their metabolism and their heartbeat right down and basically go into a hibernating state. Doing this, they can survive temperatures well below zero. And after being frozen, all they need is a little heat to thaw them out and they go back to normal like nothing ever happened. In Florida, when it's cold, people are advised not to stand under trees because there's a danger of falling iguanas. These guys literally climb to the top of the trees, get frozen, and fall on people. So if you're ever in Florida in the winter, don't stand under any trees. Now next on the list is the electric eel. Now this one shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone. This must be the only animal on the list that everyone's familiar with. Other fishes only generate a small amount of electricity that they use to navigate while swimming around and to keep track of what's happening in their surroundings. But that amount of electricity is minuscule compared to the eel, which can produce up to 860 volts of electricity, which they can use to attack and stun their prey. The how into how they do this is kinda complicated, so I'll let this guy explain.
The secret to an electric eel's shocking talent lies in 3 pairs of specialized organs throughout their abdomen. There's the main organ, which spans half the dorsal section of the eel, Hunter's organ, which runs the length of the eel's underbelly, and Sachs organ, which makes up the dorsal part of the eel's tail. These organs contain hundreds of thousands of modified muscle cells called electrocytes, arranged in perfect rows. Similar to the cells of a battery, the organization and stacking of these electrocytes allows a current of charged ions to flow through them, building current as it charges up. Electric eels also use the electrocytes in their Sachs organ to emit a steady stream of weak electric pulses to create a field around themselves. This field is used for communication and active electrolocation, their way of seeing in their dark, murky environment.
Yeah, next on the list is the tardigrade, aka the water bear. Now, looking at a tardigrade, would you believe me when I tell you this is one of the most toughest animals out there? Their size are minuscule, but they have some abilities that can make up for their size. Tardigrades can survive in temperatures as low as minus 270 degrees Celsius and temperatures as high as 150 degrees Celsius. These are the only animals known to man to ever survive the vacuum of space like nothing ever happened. They have this ability to go into a hibernating state, where they dry out the majority of their body's weight and roll up into a ball where they could survive for years. They could survive like this for years until they come in contact with water, where they will just rehydrate and go back on with their life like nothing ever happened. For instance, scientists have found a piece of moss that is over 125 years old, and after rehydrating in water, they found active water bears still living on it. Considering how small these guys are, I wonder how many times I've come across them in my daily life and never even noticed. The jeweled cockroach wasp. Now these guys made it on the list because of their special ability of mind control. And I know you're thinking, how can a small insect like this control your mind? Well, first of all, it has a toxin that it releases into your bloodstream when they bite you. This toxin literally shuts down the part of your brain that's responsible for fear, for your fight or flight responses. What they would do is find a cockroach, inject them with this toxin, and manipulate the cockroach to come home with them. While the cockroach is in this trance-like state, it hatches a single egg onto the cockroach's abdomen. If all goes well, the cockroach will stay in a trance-like state until the baby is born. When it's finally born, it has all the food and nutrients it needs to start its new life, right there from the cockroach. Now, last but not least, and number one on the list, are flatworms. Okay, I know you're wondering what's so special about flatworms. These nasty, creepy insects just swim at the bottom of lakes, but they have a special ability far superior to a lot of other animals. These animals can literally reproduce asexually, because literally if you cut one in half, it would just regenerate the other side. No matter what part of this animal you cut off, the rest of the body will always regenerate. So if you cut one into 4, you're only gonna have 4 other worms. You may be wondering how this is possible. Well, a flatworm body is mostly made up of stem cell tissue. Humans had this in early child development. This is responsible for making all our body's organs and everything our body needs. Now this worm body is made up of mostly stem cells, so it can literally recreate any body part that he needs. It's a bit complicated, so I'll let these guys explain.
After 3 weeks, it looks totally normal. From that one planarian, you get 4. Well, it all comes down to powerful cells known as stem cells. They're the green dots here, and they make up 1/5 of a planarian's body. They can turn into different kinds of cells and make every new body part. We only have stem cells that act like these when we're embryos. Once we grow up, we pretty much lose this ability. Though doctors have been able to get us to grow back a fingertip. But what if we could grow ourselves anew? A whole arm or a liver? Scientists are trying to figure out exactly how planarians do it. And maybe one day, these humble flatworms could inspire new ways to heal our injuries.
Well, that's it for today, but if you liked the video, please like and subscribe and stay tuned for future videos.